I'm not sure how they're able to get a 1/8 scale figure down so low, under 5,000 yen. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven with your weekly figure news fix. This time around 13th to 18th of July 2026. And yep, we are just a week away from Wonder Festival Summer 2026. I will try my best to push out my figure coverage as usual, where we go through each skill figure announced one by one. But for today, let's check out what is on pre-order. And this is not a very heavy week for genuine figures because, well, I believe figure companies are busy preparing for One Fest, and this is like the calm before the storm. Right after One Fest, you'll see a lot of new stuff on pre-order. But we do have a lot of third-party stuff though. So without further ado, let's move on to Hobby Link Japan for our first section here, genuine licensed PVC figures. And starting off with the largest scale 1x4 scale, as predicted last week, where Morgan went on pre-order, this week we get Lilith from the Vampire series Bunny version by freeing 40,000 yen December release. So a flatter and smaller chest did not result in a discount. Less materials. Who knows? It might be cheaper than Morgan. Did not happen. Well, they don't have to discount it, right? These two characters are going to sell really well and they come in a pair. So if you want it, yes, pre-order it early. I did mention last week that the Kotobukiya versions, they are very popular. They sell out and become expensive. And even though freeing stuff bargain bin a lot, might not happen to this pair of figures. Moving on to the next one here, we have a re-release of To Love Through Darkness swimsuit series Kiryu Lunatic. 36,000 yen releasing in January 2027. Yeah. Okay. So I'm surprised that they went and re-released this instead of doing a recolor version. There are no stockings to remove over here, so at least do a different color. They did that to Momo, right? Yami as well. They changed the color of the bikini to something else, but this one they just re-released it. Basically a MILF version of Yami. Yes, pre-order it if you want it. Even though I can't justify 36,000 yen for a plain and simple bikini figure like this, but these things are known to sell really well. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any reasons to re-release it, right? Moving on to the next one. Okay, the next few 1x6 scale figures pre-order opened last week on Ami. This week you can get them on HLJ if you wish. This Poi Poi Anime Leviathan Succubus Academy Swimming Club Deluxe Edition 16K, and there's a standard version with a plain simple disc base without the effects part for 3,000 yen less 13,000 yen. Yeah. The next one here, quick mention as well. Nippon Columbia from Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman Elucia Citrus, also available on Ami a week ago. Now can get her on HLJ for 22,000 yen. Looks rather skinny to me. And then same thing, this one pre-order opened a week ago. Now on HLJ, Animaster and Nuclear Gold with Construction Diablos Core Shining Cocktail Vodka Mirror. Now I like this figure a lot. I really like it a lot. And Magnus Leon, I'm calling you out. You said that I went from Nikke guy to gacha game Goner guy or something like that. Yes, but my level is not high enough yet. There's the next level of gooning in the form of Diablos Core and Brown Dust 2. Right? Yes. Nice figure though. I really like it. And the price, I mean, it is a premium scale figure. So Animaster is still pricing it very competitively at just under 18,000 yen. Go for it. Next up. Okay, pre-order opened last week as well. Animaster Bloodthirsty Witch Isabella 7,000 yen on HLJ. And finally, the new stuff this week. Infinity Studio and SSR figure, they are back trying to force you to buy two figures at once. I think Kurokawa Mio, the one in the black leather suit, right? That was nice. Like, if I get that figure, I would buy the deluxe version with two entire figures. For this one, it is tough because if you buy either one separately, the standard version, 13,000 yen. But for an additional 6,000 yen only, 19k, you get two entire figures. Even though to me, yeah, this one is a bit way too similar. Like, the only different part between these two figures are the top they are wearing over here. So And also, yeah, the hand, the pose, of course, but they're still very similar, right? In the end, this is a low budget figure. You divide that by 2, less than 10,000 yen each. So this is up to you. You buy only either one, you get hit by FOMO. I feel like I'm missing out on something. You get both, then yes, you're buying the same figure twice with slight differences. SSR figure, yeah, the figures are fine. I actually like their figures, just that they haven't been making stuff that I want, but I am fairly interested in that Kurokawa Mio. Moving on to the next one. Okay, Party Look, 1/6 skill Sophia F sharing Magician Bunny version. Regular edition only on HLJ. If you want the DX version, which is cast offable, only the top, of course, that would be on Ami Ami. And it is a no-brainer. Get this on Ami Ami. Only an additional 700 yen you can cast off her top, right? And the funny thing is that this figure on OSGK, the safe forward version, the non-cast offable version, they call it the healthy version. When somebody showed that to me in my Discord server, I was really laughing in my office while at work. Healthy version. Get the DX version, right? You get cast off and there are 2 separate faceplates. Yeah. So I'm not sure if I like Sophia F showing a lot as a character, but that might be hypocritical of me to say so because I liked Soniko quite a bit. I think the problem lies in the shape of the oppai because Soniko's oppai, even though it is big, the shape looks more natural. Sophia F showing, her oppai is like 2 nukes. Yeah, 2 nukes ready to launch. It is pointing upwards, defying gravity. It makes no sense to me. But yeah, don't question anime art, I guess. Moving on to the next one, Square Enix Octopath Traveler Primrose figure. No scale is mentioned here, but Square Enix figures are quite big. They're usually between 1/7 to 1/6. May release. The only problem, yep, the quality control of this brand is very spotty. In fact, not good at all. So if you still insist on pre-ordering this, you have been warned, right? I know there are no other figures of this character out there, no alternatives. You don't have a choice. But at least mentally prepare yourself for it in case you're interested in proceeding with a pre-order anyway. Next up, okay. In today's video title, I made Roxy Migurdia the main highlight simply because Mushoku Tensei is trending right now. So I went for that cheap Roxy Migurdia with today's figure news video in the title, but that is definitely not the main highlight this week for genuine figures. I regard this pair of Onimai figures by Fat Company to be the main highlights this week. At least in my opinion, they look beautiful, detailed figures, premium figures from an anime or manga. Not common nowadays, right? I brought this topic up so many times. Nowadays, figure brands, they concentrate on gacha game characters because gacha games, they last forever, 5 years, longer than that sometimes. Meanwhile, people forget about their seasonal anime waifus. But there are some evergreen characters where it is so popular in Japan that they keep making premium figures of. Shiro from No Game No Life is an excellent example. Sae Kano characters, Megumi Kato, and so on. And Onimai as well, one of those, right? So this is going for a bit over 26,000 yen. Mahiro Oyama Heisei Gyaru version, and yes, it is a trap, more like a man trapped in a woman's body. July 2027 release. Yep, about a year away. Beautiful figure. And in case you're wondering, should I be concerned about leaning? It is a valid concern, but if you're not being hit by heat waves, maybe not much of a concern. I don't know, seriously. I haven't encountered leaning figures in a long time. Parts breaking off or glue failing because of hot weather, yes, that has happened to my figures. Like some parts that were glued together, they just came off just like that, right? That is partly related to climate as well, but leaning figures, I haven't encountered any yet so far. Moving on to the next character from the same series, Onimai Mihari Oyama. He's younger sister, right? Okay. Heisei Gyaru version, same price, 26k July release. Will this pair of Onimai figures bargain bin after release? I honestly have no idea how to predict this one. Like, I have limited knowledge about how popular Onimai is, at least in Japan. And the reason why I'm also hesitating to predict anything is because anime figures are having a renaissance of some kind. And by that, I mean real anime figures. characters that come from anime or manga or light novel being made into figures. We shall discuss that in a moment, right? When we talk about Roxy Migurdia later on. Right, moving on to the next one, we have a re-release of Blue Archive Mari by MYI, which is Miyuki. This brand does not release figures often, but they somehow are under Good Smile, I believe. Or more like Good Smile distributes their figures, if I'm not mistaken. So this Iochi Mari getting a re-release is no surprise at all. Iochi Mari is extremely popular in Blue Archive. If you want one and you missed out the previous pre-order, yes, pre-order it. I don't like this Mari figure that much. More like there's nothing to dislike about it, just that the pose is a tad bit too plain and simple. And I believe that is because I'm being spoiled by all the Gunner figures coming from third parties, depicting her in all kinds of weird positions. So this one is starting to look a bit plain to me, right? But that's just me, of course. Moving on to the next one here, we have Furyu and Phoenix Makoto Nijima from Persona 5 Royal, 16,000 yen only, March release. Wow, that is a very simple and plain figure. And it is quite unbelievable that by today we still can find premium scale figures at 16,000 yen MSRP before any bargain bin discount. Persona, well, loyal fan base. I'm not a fan, but there's a big loyal fan base out there. And it is not like you guys have to deal with so many figures anyway, unlike Azalane or Nikke collectors. Really sad for these people, too many things to buy. Persona, on the other hand, we have quite a number of options, but yeah, the ones that were released in the past, they are fairly rare and expensive now. But if you have always been a collector of anything Persona related, then there are not too many figures compared to other gacha games. Pick one up. Even though Furyu is not really known to be the best figure brand out there when it comes to scale figures. Moving on to the next one, we are now in low budget figure territory. 1/8 scale Line by Series Arc Knights Amiya Tea Time version by Apex. 7,000 yen for all of this is incredible. Great value. June release next year. So if you have checked out my most recent figure haul, figure unboxing video, which I just published 2 days ago, go and check that one out if you haven't done so. I unboxed an Amiya premium scale figure. And it has been a long time since I last unboxed or reviewed an Arknight figure. Will I continue to do that? Perhaps yes, right? There are some banger figures coming from Mietos especially, which I'm fairly interested in, so you can see me review a few Arknights figures going forward. It won't be very frequent, but every once in a while, I plan to get something from Arknights, yeah. This one, I mean, if you are on a low budget, you can't afford that 27,000 yen Amiya scaled figure, then this is very good purchase. Moving on to the next one, we have Pop-Up Rate 02L size from Darling in the France, 8,000 yen releasing in December. Yep, this December. So this one is not a bad purchase for those of you on a low budget, on a strict budget. But here's the thing, right? Kotobukiya released their scale figure of 02, was it like a year or 2 years ago? It was quite a while ago. That figure was released twice, and that scale figure was only 12,000 yen. So if you still can find that one at 12,000 yen, I would rather you save up a bit more and go for the Kotobukiya version. The quality is going to be way better. And for low budget options, I don't think there is anything else. Hanabi is making a figure of her on pre-order. Is it like 20,000 yen or so? And Good Smile just released a new version a month or 2 months ago, 21,000 yen. With a jacket over her. That's very nice actually. And there is a wedding version which I reviewed on this channel a couple of years ago. Wedding dress version by Good Smile. And there is the Gunner version by Max Factory, almost 30,000 yen. That one is fairly rare and expensive. And one copy of that figure is sitting in the customs office in Kuala Lumpur. An example of what you should not import or they will confiscate it because religious people, they don't like it. Yeah. And that's the obvious one, the Aniplex one, the oldest 02 figure. That one is also rare and expensive. Moving on to the next one, we have Pop-Up Rate Yuzu made version from Blue Archive, 6,800 yen releasing in December. Wow. Standard Pop-Up Rate figures are high 6,000 yens now, almost 7,000 yen. That's barely 1,000 yen less than the L. That's very pricey for standard Pop-Up Rate. Because if the price of a standard Pop-Up Rate were to go up, then you would expect everything to go up in price. The L, the XL would go up in price as well, but the XL, as you guys saw earlier, is still at 8,000 yen, sometimes 9,000, depending on the complexity of the character, but not more than 10k as far as I can remember. But this is 6,800. Wow. that's that's pricey. Yeah. Next up, okay, so the highlight of this week's figure pre-order for the genuine side of things, we have 1/8 skill Waku Waku timing and Dragon Horse Roxy Migurdia from Mushoku Tensei, 4,400 yen only, releasing in November. Yep, this November. I'm not sure how they're able to get a 1/8 scale figure down so low, under 5,000 yen. This is like the price of pop-up rate figures 5 years, 8 years ago when pop-up rates was something new, right? They were around like 4,000 yen or 4,300 yen before taxes. Of course, this is the work of a Chinese brand, most likely. I've never heard of this brand before. Literally my first time seeing it. So I think I'm 99.9% certain this is a Chinese brand. As for how they're able to get the price down as low as possible, I have no clue, but if there's one thing China is really a master in, it is manufacturing, like mass production. Their production is so efficient. They know how to keep cost down by ramping up the volume most of the time. Of course, I would expect this to be slightly better than the price figure in quality, but don't expect more than that. In fact, I don't think this will be as good as Apex Toys Lime Pie, which is fairly average in the world of low budget figures. Metos Gift Plus is way better. Yeah, so we'll see. This is very interesting. And yeah, speaking of anime characters, anime figures having a renaissance, which I mentioned briefly earlier. So the one thing I've noticed in the recent year or so, the opposite of what I usually say is happening, right? So a lot of seasonal anime characters, their figures tend to bargain bin because people lose interest in their seasonal waifus once the anime has finished airing. But in the recent year, some of the more popular anime titles, Mushoku Tensei included, the figures are going up in value very quickly. If you look for any existing premium skill figures of Mushoku Tensei characters, previous releases by Kyuskyu, by Claynel, Aris, or Roxy, does not matter. Their prices are insane right now, 40,000 yen, 50,000 yen. And it was just a few days ago, I saw someone on Mercari scalping a Roxy figure for 100,000 yen. And that was not even a good Roxy figure by some third-rate skill figure brand, right? So this is not happening only to Mushoku Tensei. Some anime characters, their figures, right? Okay, Cyberpunk Edge Runners. It is a game, yes, but there's an anime adaptation. Their pop-up rates and also the low budget figures by Chinese brands, the value shot up as well. And what else? Man, I can't recall anything at the moment. Yeah, because I'm always looking for bargains. I buy up these bargains and then I want to do my unboxing and reviews as usual. And I used JP Fans, right, to hunt for these deals. And that was when I realized that whenever I search for a figure of a character from a fairly popular anime, the value is insane. Free rent included, right? Free rent and fun, same thing happening. Mushoku Tensei. I mean, I look around the internet on social media. Is there any anime that everyone are talking about? That's the one where the values are pretty high. Chainsaw Man stuff as well. And also Dungeon Meshi. Delicious in Dungeon. Some of their tall figures, not even released yet, but people are already increasing the prices. So this is what I mean by anime characters having a renaissance in the world of anime figures. Their values are going back up again, but I think this is mostly limited to the popular ones. Toga Himiko from Boku no Hero Academia, same thing, 30,000-40,000 yen minimum for the premium scale figures that are already released. But I digress, right? I know I've gone off track a lot, but since we're talking about Mushoku Tensei here, I thought I should bring up this. Moving on to the next one here. There we go, Mushoku Tensei again. We have Tenohira Aries sleeping together meow version. Mega House 8,500 yen low budget figure. Tiny figure releasing in January. Yep, this small. Man, it's so small. Way too small. That's what she said. And what I said too. Last week on HLJ, Honkai Impacted Fu Hua Little Tea Party version by Mietos, 6,800 yen, and yes, it is a tiny figure. But Mietos makes good stuff. June release next year. So we need to wait 1 whole year for this tiny thing. Moving on to our next section, Ami for some exclusive items and figures not yet on pre-order on HLJ at the time of recording. Hold on a second, right? I'm sure you guys are going to ask me, will I buy this since I like Nikke so much? The answer is an easy no. Like 180,000 yen. Seriously, I would spend this money on maybe 2 or 3 1x4 scale figures by Hobby Sakura. I think that's enough for 3 1x4 scales by Hobby Sakura, Nikke figures. Or I would spend that on a premium resin statue at 1x4. Licensed one even. So no, I love mecha stuff. I am a Gundam fan, by the way, but no, I'm not getting this. Right? So we have Ami exclusive Goddess of Victory Nikke Gigantic Modernia 1x12 scale. Initially, I thought this was a model kit or maybe action figure. It isn't. It is a fixed pose statue. We saw this in One Fest like a few months ago. 179,300 yen by GNF Toys and Hobby Sakura, July 2027 release. Okay. 1x12 is massive. I'm telling you guys that because that means Modernia sitting in the center in the cockpit right there. That is basically Figma size. If she was standing upright, that would be like 16 centimeters tall. So the whole thing is huge. If you were to ask me, let's say you receive the figure for free or something, will you unbox and review it? Absolutely. But even after I have done that, I would sell it off. I don't see myself keeping this at all. Yeah. Moving on to the next one. Here we go again. Roxy Migurdia, under the Mega House Lucria series, 23,100 yen. Non-scale on paper, but should be quite small, I believe. Height 20 centimeters. Okay, 20 centimeters in this pose is not bad. Quite close to 1/7 actually. Because she's slouching forwards. February 2027 release. Yes, if you want it, pre-order it early, right? Moving up next, we have a very overpriced figure, though there's nothing new for Amakuni. Kaguya-sama Love is War, Kei Shirogane. That's a very nice name. 1/7 scale, 26,400 yen releasing this December. Very overpriced, but could you afford not to pre-order it if you want her? Because Amakuni stuff are by default Hobby Japan exclusives. Not every website carries the figure. No, Amakuni stuff is case by case basis. Their Nikke figures are absurd. Aftermarket value is insane, but there are also other releases by Amakuni. Like some of the very old FGO figures, the value actually went down. And for Kaguya-sama, there is another existing figure released by Amakuni. I saw it in Taobao for like close to official MSRP price. The price is not going up. Maybe because it is seasonal anime character. So I don't know. These things are hard to predict. So 26,400 yen. If you like her, would you gamble on not pre-ordering it and waiting for your chances after release? Or would you play it safe and pre-order it early and pay up that premium price? I would love to hear your opinion on that if you are a fan of Kaguya-sama. Up next, we have Ami. Okay, this is not an Ami exclusive, just that the bonus part is an exclusive. And this being the brand Nippon Columbia, it means that the figure will show up in HLJ this coming week, usually a week later, like that figure earlier we just covered into this video. So this one is a 1/6 scale from Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman Surena. Yep, I remember her. 22,460 yen after a small discount. They're discounting the Japanese GST, I think. Yeah, 10% off. February 2027 release. It is nice to see seasonal anime characters getting premium scale figures actually. More variety for everyone. It would be a really sad hobby if everything is just Azalane, Next up, we have Kirin Hone Original 1/6 scale, original character by Daiki Kogyo. Almost 30,000 yen, releasing this December. And this being a Daiki figure, yes, it is customable. And the standard version without the Ami exclusive bonus is like 1,000 yen or 1,500 yen less. Not that big of a difference. Of course, not available on HLJ since it is 18+. Just that Daiki I don't know, man. Many of your original characters lately, I haven't been liking them one bit. Something subjective, right? It's not like I'm complaining about the figure being bad before it even came out, just that it is not my kind of thing. Yeah. And 30k is a lot for a figure like this. Moving on to the next one. Okay, these two figures are by a new brand, relatively new, Muse Molds. We saw this pair of high school DxD hero figures being displayed in one fest a few months ago. Ria's Grammary cheerleader version. Just that I did not expect this to be so expensive at 28,000 yen. I was about to scream out overpriced. Until I saw the scale 1/6. Okay, that makes more sense. Considering that this is also partially customable. You can replace the chest portion with a Hadaka with Oppa in their full glory. After all, that is what high school DxD is all about. Okay, 28k in this case is reasonable for a Japanese brand. And of course, we will get Arcano as well. Arcano Himejima, same price, releasing in January 2027. They look fairly nice now because back then when I saw these two figures on display in one fest, they look fairly underwhelming. But I'm also aware that those are prototypes, they are fairly unfinished. So more than often when figures we see in one fest, when they go on pre-order, the official product pictures, they look really good because that is the finished one. Hopefully it is not a false promise because there are also brands that do false promises where the actual release is not as good. This brand we don't know yet, it is very new. Moving on to the next one. Okay, another Chio figure. Okay, they call the elder sister like one Chio, 1/6 scale, almost 29,000 yen, releasing in February. This one is also partially customable. You can expose her Oppai in a swappable part. But my favorite Chio figure so far should be the Max Factory one. In bunny suit, kneeling on the ground. I like that one a lot. Yeah, that's my favorite. But no, not getting this one. If you like Monster Musume, you might want to give this one a good look. I do like her character design, just that not interested at the same time. Yeah. Next up, Arma Bianca, not an exclusive, but somehow HLJ does not have her yet. Konosuba Megumin, Moon Knight version, 28,000 yen at 1/7. May 2027 release. What? 28k is very expensive for what we are getting. Oh no, this can't be worth 28,000 yen. Not even with the moon base, man. What is that black plastic disc? That thing costs like $1 or less than that. The material cost, the manufacturing cost. And you know, whenever I see translucent materials like this, it reminds me of price figures. So this is already giving me a bad impression from the get-go. I get it. The negligi or the pajamas she's wearing is partially translucent just to make her look a little bit hotter. I mean, Kazuma wanted to not. If you watch the movie, he likes Megumin actually, right? So, anyways, the paintwork is nice, like on the hair over here, but shading is a bit lacking. There is only a bit of these effects over here. This does not look like a 28,000 yen figure at all. Oh, look at the back of her head over here. Just plain brown. Is Ama Bianca Japanese or Chinese? At that price, probably Japanese. But this is way too much. Too expensive. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend this. Moving on to the next one. This is a re-release, though. Yeah, they did not label it as such. Kyosuke Mushoku Tensei Aries dressing mode. 17,000 yen is a really good price. Pre-order it if you want her. That backside is fabulous after all. January 2027 release. This is a very good figure, just that I'm not bothered with collecting Mushoku Tensei figures, even though I have a 1/4 Roxy behind me in bikini. Yeah, that thing must be worth a lot now if Mushoku Tensei stuff are going up in value. Alright, Kyosuke is a brand I can always recommend, right? Next up, we have, We Art Doing Studio. Since Ami put them on pre-order over here, I'll just cover it here and skip it on OSGK later on. 35,500 yen for potato chip fairies. As usual, there'll be two colors, the orange one here and the red one. Yeah, tough choice. I think both colors look good. This is all up to you. The red one, we have some color contrast at least. Let's have a closer look. They're so expensive because they are resin, right? Resin is a more expensive material. Yeah, I think I do like this color a lot more. Nice. I love potato chips. Moving up next, we have a low budget figure by In Focus, a very new brand from China. 11,500 yen. You get Cat Stott 2 Mo Chan house version, 1/6 scale. At this price, you get the mirror, the base over there, and the very nice. A lot of accessories. Releasing in April next year. Now, there's one thing that I don't like about this figure. The pose is blocking her face, right? That is my immediate complaint. So yes, hot women undressing themselves is pretty hot, but depending on how the pose is being done, sometimes they are not ideal, and this is one of those examples where you display the figure on the shelf, and if you place her way too high up, then you can't enjoy looking at her face. You need to put her somewhere lower. So this is my immediate complaint just from the pose alone, and I'm saying this from experience. Of course, there are some figures out there which, after purchasing it, I thought I would like it, and then I realized that the pose is a problem. Yeah. Moving on to the next one here. The last 4 figures on Ami Ami, they are, edgy figures in Ami Ami's age restricted section. The first one here, Kakao original character Wakaba Yotsuno, 1/6 by Hot Venus, a very pricey 36,300 yen, releasing in April 2027. But who does not like JKs undressing themselves? I love figures like this. Just that I can't unbox and review them on YouTube even if I purchased one. Hot Venus, you don't ask questions, you'll just smash that pre-order button. Their quality is really good. Next up, okay, this thing is pretty much Hadaka, so I couldn't show much. Camelot, a very new brand. And 1/6 scale at only 13,000 yen. Is this like the first time we have a low budget edgy figure that is actually fully customable? This has to be the first time this has happened, because every low budget figure brand so far from China, there was 1 or 2 figures where they are kind of like edgy, kind of like customable, but only the top, not the bottom. This is probably the first case of low budget edgy figure. Though it is low budget because the figure is Hadaka to begin with, very simple to manufacture, I guess. That is how they keep the price low. I am intrigued. I am interested. I can only, if I ever review this, it will be on X, on Twitter, I guess. You can upload videos on X after all. Maybe that would be where I do the video. An exception. Nikuro Kue's original characters, Nikuro. Right, February release. Moving on to the next one, we have Ogaten Mitai no Kanojo, illustrated by Ribuyuki. 1/6 scale by Pure, 26,000 yen, releasing in January 2028. Here we go again with the long waiting times. And no, this one is not that nice, like just pink bikini and not much else. Yeah, white shirt over her shoulders, but big opai and pink bikini. Nothing special in my opinion. Next up, the last figure on Ami Ami. Loli. Anatani Shitsu Keraretai. By PR, 26,700 yen, releasing in January 2028 as well. And yep, customable. This is cute, but very pricey for a 1/6 scale lolly figure. But PR makes great figures, like, don't hesitate. If you want it, pre-order it, right? Now we move on to our last stop, which is Ninin Game. Isekai Market Item 3 Dragon Girl. I think this figure came out before in 1/6 scale. Now they are coming up with a 1/4 at 58,000 yen because the Japanese people keep buying them. Even though their figures are absolute trash. Like, 8 out of 10 figures they make are not good. There are a few outliers that turns out really good, but most of the time this brand I would suggest staying away from. And if you absolutely need some Gunner figures, maybe check out some third parties. I don't know. Yeah. I just don't want to support a brand like this until they get their act together and make better products. Simple as that. Next up, we have Suzu Fukami 1/6 scale secret stress relief method. Yeah. 22,000 yen, releasing in January. Big Opai JK. And then here we have two versions of this figure. This is the Hadaka version, Shiho Sakurazaka Ballet Club Secret Lesson, 22,000 yen at 1/6 scale, releasing in January. And here is the normal version by Fort Japan, 22K January release as well. She's cute, but that's about it, right? So that is all for genuine figures on pre-order this week. Let's move on to third parties, where we have a lot of stuff. But before that, you guys know that I normally don't cover male characters, but this thing is such a joke that I need to share it with everyone in case you have not seen it yet. From Neko Nest Studio, Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII. Yep, Cloud Strife in a wedding dress somehow. I have no idea why, but I can see some Fujoshis picking this up, like smashing the pre-order button even until the keyboard is broken, right? So there are so many versions over here with protrusion, without protrusion. I'm not clicking on it. I'm guessing that there is a bulge between the legs, like yeah, in the crotch region over there. It is not mentioned to be 18 plus though, so the bad news here is that this is not car stoppable. So now you know that this figure of Cloud Strife exists. Now we move on to the actual stuff that I want to cover. Our first section is GB figures, where we have a few Anyas this week. Zenny Studio, Anya cosplaying as Igura Obanai from Spy Family. Not from Demon Slayer, right? It's from Spy Family. Low edition. Yep, knew it. Simpler base, right? This is low edition, which looks quite nice. $120, come on, $20 difference, go all out and get the high edition, right? Much better. So there is no white hair option this time around. Normally they give you two different colors for the hair. Sorry, black hair. Oh, there is a black hair option, which means whichever you pick, there are two head sculpts in the box. Very nice. Alright, I think displaying it in black hair is fine because you can still tell it's Anya. Next, Anya figure. This one is fabulous, but this is from ZH Studio. No surprise over there. Best Anya figure brand out there. Kyojuro Rengoku cosplay. Standard version is going for $140. Oh, pink hair. No, this one you need it. Yep, I just covered this one 2 weeks ago. The what's his name again? This version was really nice. Rengoku is nice too, but I think I like Akaza version more. Okay. Get the DX version, of course. You're getting both head sculpts, I think, for the DX one. Deluxe version, standard version. The flame effect parts are nicer, but you're getting extra head sculpt for both anyway. I see. Okay. Fabulous. This is very nice. Yeah. Next up, we have a GB version of Reze from Chainsaw Man by MM Studio. Price is $114. Yep, 114 March release. Okay, this is a cute Reze figure. Nice base too. Wow, high-res pic. I like that. When figure stores, they upload high-res pictures, which most Japanese stores don't do because they need to save. They need to save their server space. They have a sample here. Alright, looking good. Next up, we have Nezuko by YN Studio from Demon Slayer, $92 releasing in December. Yeah. I don't think it is worth spending $92 for this. This is something that should have been made into a low budget PVC figure. So you can get one for like 6,000, 7,000 yen. Why pay $92 for this, right? Yeah. Because a figure like this is not really benefiting from the qualities or the advantages of making a figure in resin, which is higher detail level. This is not benefiting from it. So make it with a cheaper material and charge less where more people will buy, right? Next up over here, another GB figure, Kikyo Archery from Inuyasha by Cookie Studio, $90 releasing, okay, not release date yet. I have to wonder what materials they're using for the bow and the arrow because they look quite fragile. Right, what about proper scale figures of her? Yeah, right here, this is an early bird pre-order, no price or release date yet. They only have a sample of the head, which looks good so far. Yeah, nothing much else other than 1/6 scale. And another one over here, Kikyo again. She has to be so popular for third parties to keep making figures of her. $265 at 1/6 scale from Wawa Studio, December release. I like it when they show us the actual figure like this. You know, this is beautiful actually. Yep, this looks really nice. So, 265 does feel a bit steep, a bit expensive, but I've noticed this trend nowadays where a decent resin figure at 1/6 scale for under $250 is becoming very rare. I think prices are going up across the board. Yeah. And here we have Fentora Studio Kuchiki Rukia from Bleach. Not available for purchase in the US. Yep. Uh, I mentioned this before, right? I think the copyright holders over in the US has a problem with it. $282 releasing in December. Are there genuine scale figures of this character? I can't remember. I'm sure there are. Probably Mega House made a few, right? This kind of translucent material or outfit, every time resin looks better than PVC. Yeah. Right, next up we have Demon Slayer again, Break Wall Studio Shinobu Kocho. $576, ouch, for 1/6 scale, all because of the base with LEDs. September 2027 release, yeah, more than a year away. Okay, I have to say, this looks incredible. LEDs for the butterfly effect behind. This looks incredible. Woo. This is actually worth considering for the hardest core of Demon Slayer fans. I think this looks fabulous. This is probably one of the most epic looking Shinobu Kocho figures I've seen yet from any third party. The genuine figure brands won't be able to come up with something like this because, the Japanese, they are known to play it very safe when it comes to product planning. They don't like taking risks. So something like this, 100,000 yen or higher than that with PVC figure, how many people are going to buy it, right? Yeah. Next up, we have Black Rose Studio, Kana Suyuri and Kanae Kocho from Demon Slayer. Can get both for $158, yes. Both. If you get them separately, 1/6 scale, $138. Oh, okay, my bad. The $158 is 1/10 scale, but you get a set. Yeah, $90 each or 150 as a set. 158. If you go for 1/6 scale, you need to buy them separately one by one. Each of them go for $152. Now that makes more sense because two 1/6 scales for 150 plus is a bit weird, a bit impossible. This is nice. Simple JK figure. We have shading paintwork on the stockings. On the blue skirt over here, there is shading, not plain blue, and color gradients on the hair. Looks good. This time around, I prefer the older one here. The lolly over here, I'm not. I don't like it as much this time around. Right, moving on to the next one. What do we have here? Okay, Ayanami Ray by Ouch Studio. Neon Genesis Evangelion, $198 at 1/6. Oh, no scale, but the height is 21 cm, which is pretty close to 1/6 in this sitting pose. September release this September, 2 months away. Well, looks like Ray, I guess. Oh, they have the actual figure. Yeah, it looks good to me. No problems. Everything looks accurate to me. And here with wanted to say Ayanami Wei. Here with Asuka Langley from Hui Gu Niang Studio or Hui Gu Niang. Okay. Grey Princess, something like that. $199. No release date yet. And I don't know about you guys, but this looks fairly AI-ish. But as long the figure turns out good, I guess it is fine. Yeah. This looks very perfect, isn't it? It looks very AI-ish to me. Yeah. Price is reasonable though, $199 for something like this. And here we have Dragon Ball Android 18 in Bikini by BBSD Studio. Looks nice. No release date yet. $225. Yeah. Could be AI as well. Could be. Looks very perfect to me. The body sculpt and everything. But I'm too lazy to address the AI thing again like this. arguments on this topic comes up pretty much every week, right? Looks nice though, and this is like semi-realistic face, leaning towards a realistic set of things. You either hate it or like it, depends on your personal preferences. Next up, we have something very classic. I did not expect a third party to even bother with this anime, MAR, Marken Awakens Romance. MAR. Classic anime. Is it from 1990s or 2000s? I'm not sure, but it is a very old anime, right? Marken Awakens Romance. MAR in short. Dorothy from Poke Studio, releasing this December. I'm not sure what their line of thought is, like why suddenly decide to make a figure from this old anime. I'm not sure, but uh very nice figure though. The face and beautiful. This looks nicer than what I see in the anime, in fact. Yeah, the anime art style is very old. Next up, we have early bird pre-order of Your Forger from Spy Family. Realistic face, do we have? Or only a teaser pic and no anime face yet. Okay, no comment for now. Next up, we have another unexpected figure. Celtis Traducen from Durarara. Yeah, this anime has like 3 seasons. I did not watch it. I wanted to watch it, but I did not, right? It was very popular back then by Pepeho Studio. $263 for what I consider to be borderline swimsuit figure is pricey. Oh, okay, my bad. It is 1x4. Okay, 1x4 at this price is very cheap. Once I see the price under $300, I start assuming it is 1x6, but it is 1x4 in this case. Alright, March release. We don't know what she looks like underneath, by the way. She's always wearing a helmet, this character. Moving on to the next one, we have Akame ga Kill, Akame by Dazzle Studio and PG Studio. There's SDEF as well. Okay. SDEF is $199, Akame is $199 as well. Can get both for $369. Yeah, getting both is the more reasonable option. Like the more reasonable thing to do, right? Lower price for each figure. Okay, this is quite loyal to the actual character design. They are not doing all those upgrades on her chest or stuff like that. Even the face looks fairly identical to what we see in the manga and the anime. I like this. I like this a lot. It feels authentic, right? Like virtually untouched. They just stay loyal to the source material. Next up, we have Pure Crush Studio Iroha Sakayori from Cosmic Princess Kaguya. Yeah, it is a movie. I plan to watch it. I don't have the time yet, but I do want to watch it. Oh, there's Hadaka version. Nice. Regular version is $284. Smiling head and open mouth head. And you can get both, including Hadaka version, for $425. Alright. Okay, that is very nice, the face over here. But Pure Crush Studio, as far as I can remember, their figures are fine actually. Yeah. Fortunately, they don't have any 18 plus pictures over here for me to accidentally click on. Oh, they only have a preview, good enough, right? So I would take the smiling face. Of course, this might be the better option for you, the version B, like the poker face as I would call it, not smiling. Maybe that is her character. I don't know what her character is like, her personality, right? Next up, we have Hera Studio and Nightwing Studio. Oh, Hera Studio is back. Touka Kirishima from Tokyo Ghoul. We have 1x6 scale at $263, 1x4 at $424. Once again, another one of those figures where the arm is blocking the face. I don't like that, but for this character, I can kind of understand. Like, trying to look mysterious, so covering her face partially. She is a ghoul after all. Yeah, I think for this character, it is fine because of the context behind this character's backstory. Okay, and here we have a normal face. Looks good. Right? It is Hera Studio. I wouldn't worry. This is going to turn out very nice. And oh, there is LED. Oh, okay. Okay. Moving up to the next one. I have no idea how they can expect to show us a silhouette teaser picture like this and expect to take pre-orders for it. But this is nothing new for third parties at this point. Yeah, this is the only picture we have over here. Mikasa and versus Eren from Attack on Titan by Execution Studio, $742. What's the size? Okay, the width, overall width is 80 centimeters. That's huge. Moving on to the next one here, Girl Club Studio Mayuri Shina from Steins Gate, 360. Okay, the price is not yet confirmed. If this is 1x6, this won't be 369. It won't be more than $300, I think. Tuturu, you know, I used to have that ringtone on my phone for messages. Tuturu. Is this already the best Mayuri Shina figure out there? Both genuine or third party? Like all of these props over here, I love that so much. And I know there were like 1 or 2 scaled figures of her by brands that I don't remember who made the figures of her, but this is already the best figure of her. Nice photography work from the studio as well. The lighting is very nice. Next up here, okay, this is random and I like it so much. So this is Air Studio, never heard of them. 1x6 scale Kisara Demon Girl from Engage Keys, $199, releasing in December. So Engage Keys, if I'm not sure if it has a manga, could be an original anime by the anime studio behind it. I'm not sure. I think there's a manga for it. But Engage Keys aired a few years ago, and even though this anime aired in like late 2010s or early 2020s, I don't remember anymore. Quite a few years ago. The animation style, the backstory, the setting, and everything, it reminded me of action romance anime from the early 2010s. So when I watched the anime, it felt very nostalgic. It is like this is the anime I used to love when I was watching all these Japanese cartoons when I was in my sophomore year in college, my junior years. So Engage Keys made me feel something special. It is not the best anime in the world. It is fairly average, in fact, but the way the characters interact, their relationships with the main character, you have this harem dynamic going on. Some people hate harem dynamics, right? Many girls going after the same guy, stuff like that. But it reminded me of the classic, not exactly classic, but it reminded me of anime from 10, 15 years ago, and I enjoyed it so much. Yeah. So, I mean, if you have some time to try out some older anime, try Engage Keys. You might like it. Yeah, I don't know. Action, romance, harem, a bit of edgy, just a bit. There are no Hadaka stuff in there. As for the figure, this is very accurate. And are there any genuine figures of Engage Keys characters? I don't think. No, there was one. I think there was one. Not was it this character? Yes, it was. Was it by Kadokawa? In her demon form, where she has wings and so on. I think there was a scale figure of her, but not in this normal version, but in her demon version. Moving on to the next one, what do we have here? Okay, a few Chainsaw Man Reze figures. First one here is by Ghost Time Studio, $199, releasing in December, 1x6 scale. So here we have an anime face, which I don't like very much. It looks a bit weird, to be honest. And of course, there is the this looks horrible. Realistic face. This looks horrible. I can't recommend this one when there are so many other better options out there. This does look like Reze, but something feels a bit off, right? I've seen better ones. The next Reze figure here by Origin Studio, $388 at 1x4, releasing in March. And this one, I think they do have an anime face, right? Yes, they do. The realistic face is once again, oh, not nice. But anime face is much better. But if there's one thing I don't like about this version, it feels like Power cosplaying as Reze. Like, that face expression with the tongue sticking out, that is Power, right? So yeah, something feels a bit off about this one as well. Next up, we have Fubuki from One Punch Man by Yuki Studio, $282 at 1x6. Very expensive, but this one looks very nice. December release. And I have to be honest with you, when I saw this figure, it felt like something made by Amakuni. The way they painted it, the sculpt, and This feels like a premium PVC figure by one of the better figure brands out there. And I love this so much already. I don't care if there are other Gunner figures of her out there by other third parties, but this one is already one of the best Fubuki figures at 1x6. This looks really nice. This is very close to what we see in the anime, right? Next up, we have Hatsune Miku Cat Girl by TG Studio for $24. That is for the Hadaka version, and this one you're getting two entire figures. This one is fully customable. Regular version, the safe work version is $225. Yeah, reasonable, I guess. Yeah, I would love to share with you guys the real view, but no, not on YouTube, unfortunately. Next up, we have Ilya World Cup Team. Interesting. By Kai Studio, $199 at 1x6, releasing in December. That is a very good Ilya figure. And look at how muscular her thighs are. This is not the Ilya I know. Did she? Oh yeah, maybe she played too much football. That's why. Too much soccer, right? You guys in the US call it soccer because you have your American football. This is very muscular for Ilya. Ilya does not have legs like this. Yes, I'm very particular about my lollies, okay? So I find this to be a very nice figure. Like, this is something you would never see genuine figure brands do. They would do their Christmas or Halloween figures, but World Cup figures, yeah, this is very unique for once. Next up, we have, okay, we're already in game character section. So this one is Starry Moon Atelier Studio Unrun from Overwatch, Borderline Hadaka on the chest, and it is customable. You just have to pay an extra $30 or $40 for the full DX version. The standard version is not that much cheaper, so get the DX one. Releasing in December. Just that among Overwatch characters, I'm not sure if I like this character at all. At the same time, I do admit that I don't know what this character looks like in the game. I don't like the face on this one, in short. So I'm not sure if the character actually looks like this or it is just the figure brand behind it. Not getting it right. Yeah. What's the name again? That girl in long hair with full blue color suit. What's her name? Yeah, I do like that Overwatch character a lot more, but that is a fairly mainstream character. Moving on to the next one, Infinity Studio Street Fighter Cammy 1x3 scale. And let me say this right now, this is among the best Cammy figure I've ever seen at any scale. Right? It is licensed. $1,060 at 1x3 silicone seamless action figure. And releasing in March 2027, which is quite soon, right? So the one thing I really like about this Cammy figure is that because you can pose it, that means that there will be seam lines around the wrist. But in this case, it is probably the upper arm over here. You swap out the entire arm, so that the gloves itself is concealing the seam line. And she's wearing boots anyway, so you don't see any ugly seam lines around the ankle either. Which is why I like this so much. And even the face of this Cammy figure, which one is the face? I would like to show you guys a closer up look of a face. Yep, this one right here. This is a very pretty Cammy figure. Like, not all Cammy figures are made equal. This one, you can pose it. It looks like a scaled figure because there are no joint lines. And even the outfit, the detail, everything, this is among the best Cammy figure I've seen. Infinity Studio, yes, the same company making SSR figure, the low budget PVC figures. It is the same company, just that they have a premium figure division that makes resin statues and silicone stuff, and also a PVC figure division which they call SSR figure. Same company, by the way. Would I love to have one? Absolutely, but I'm not dropping $1,000 on this, man. Next up, okay, Ada Wong from Resident Evil. This is what I mean by ugly seam lines, right? This is by Mogu Studio, 1x4 scale, $365 is reasonable, releasing in September next year, 2027. So, you look at her arms, no, her wrist over here, right? It is inevitable. Like, you need her to be able to pose with a pistol, with the finger on the trigger. You need her to be able to pose with maybe a sword or a knife in her hand. You need multiple different hand parts. So it is inevitable that you're going to have very unnatural, very weird looking wrist. See this? Yeah. Of course, there is a way to rectify it. You put gloves on her. Go and buy some third party accessories. Though 1x4 scale is a bit hard to find, 1x6 is very easy to find. Find some knuckle gloves or something like that and put it over her hands, and you won't be able to see the wrist. That is what I would personally do. Yeah. As for the face, do we have a closer pic of her face? Yes, we do. Okay, it does look like her. I've seen better, but this does look like her at least. Next up, we have, oh, smoking hot, isn't it? Very tastefully done. How to pronounce that? Studio. Grace Ashcroft from Resident Evil. The price is not yet confirmed, but 525. Even if that price is final, that is a good price for this whole thing in 1x4 scale, releasing in December. This December. And this is all you get. No cast off, no naughty. uh, this is more than enough. I don't mind it not being cast offable because this is already very attractive itself. Face is also very nice. Moving up next, 2B from Nier Automata, a very nice 2B figure in fact by Star Origin Studio, which is a fairly good brand for third parties. 1x6, $11, 1x4, 453, right? Yeah, 453. So the face over here, for some reason, it does not look like the 2B I know, but 2B has been so bastardized in a way where 10 different figures of her being made, all 10 has a different face. Like everyone are interpreting her faces a bit differently, right? Of course, you want the absolute accuracy, you buy the genuine figures, but for third parties, pick the one you like, I guess. There's so many options out there, and I like this so much for the, very dynamic pose. I love this so much. Just that I'm not sure what to think about the face. It looks like some Russian girl or something. uh, Believing her to be Russian is not that wrong though, even though she's just an android, not human. Because a lot of Russian characters in anime have silver hair for some reason. Next up, we have Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Magician Girl 2.0 by Aftershock Studio. $226 at, okay, no scale, but the dimensions is close to 1x6. December release. Okay, this really looks like whatever Max Factory did in the past. Very similar. Right, so as long the figure turns out identical, I have no complaints. This is nice. The height of the figure is 28. 28, yep. And the base is not that high up, maybe 2 centimeters from the bottom. So this is 1x6, I think. Next up, we have ACGN02 Studio. Clarice Longing Alchemist from Grand Blue Fantasy. We don't get enough figures from this game and anime. 1x7 scale, so it is probably a recast from a Japanese GK, releasing in March next year. If it is a recast and you don't care about all this ethical stuff, then they are normally good pre-orders because the sculpt is already done by someone else very skillful. They just had to clone it and paint it, right? So they turn out well most of the time. ACGN02 Studio, their recast are actually quite nice. But yes, there are some ethical issues involved with this recast, and personally, I don't really support them. Next up, we have, this one, I would just call it a bootleg at this point, right? There are no ways to sugarcoat it. I can't sugarcoat this figure at all. Protop Studio, they do a mix of recast GKs, their own sculpt, and now they're also a bootleg company too. We say Kujikawa from Persona 4 Dancing All Night, $198 at 1x7. No release date yet. And the very fact that this is 1x7 instead of 1x6, which is more common with third-party resins, I think this is 99% a recast of an existing genuine PVC figure by Fats Company. Fats Company made the same exact figure and released it like, was it 10 years ago? It was long ago. Yes, it is rare and expensive now. And if you were to tell me maybe the company sculpted the figure on their own from scratch, that is possible, but they could have done it at 1x6, right? Or any other scale. Why exactly the same as the original one that came out 10 years ago? This has to be recast. And when you recast an existing licensed PVC figure, that is pretty much the definition of bootleg, right? Third party means you do your own sculpt and it is unlicensed. but there are no genuine versions of that figure that is third party. You take the genuine one and do a clone, even though the quality is excellent, it is a bootleg. It is what it is. Yeah. So I can't support this one. Next up, we have two Nikke figures. The first one is Cinderella in swimsuit, and her face is beautiful on this one by Vault Studio. $291 is very expensive. I would even say it is overpriced for what you are getting, unless yeah, the curtain and the mirrors behind are included. Otherwise, I don't think this is worth it at all. At this price, they should give us a Hadaka body to swap out, right? March release. Beautiful figure, but I can't justify the price. Next one here, Roach Unlucky Rabbit from Nikke. We don't have any genuine figures of this one yet. So the easy way to describe what her outfit looks like, because I put two poor cats over there, Weaver's Bunny outfit. So you have exposed topai with no black color love shaped object covering the nips. That's it. So of course, genuine figures won't look like this, but I'm liking her character design already. Like the black and red combination here is so striking. $263 at 1x6 releasing in December. GAK or GAK Studio. Face looks pretty good to me though. Moving on to the next one, we have another Nikke figure. Three of them. I thought two. Three of them. I've forgotten about this Blank Fortune Express figure by New Age Studio. And when you see New Age Studio, yeah, pre-order it if you want it. Their figures are great. This is available in 1.6 and 1.4. 1.4 is $263. Damn. Okay. The Kani is too majestic. I had to cover it partially. Even though she is wearing clothes, she is not exposed, but the Kani is too beautiful. 1x6 scale is going for version A, $176. Yep, I just remembered. So there is the black stockings version and barrel leg version. I'm not sure which one to choose. The actual character design, the original character design is with black stockings, right? But you get a clearer look at the Kani over there when she's barrel legged. You get to see the pantsu a bit clearer. So this is a tough choice to me. Face is beautiful, perfect. Next up, we have a few Genshin figures here. The first one is by Shy Studio Raiden Shogun. $310 at 1x4 scale. No, you're not convincing me with that stupid face over there. No. This is just a cosplayer with a Raiden Shogun wig over her head, wearing a bikini. I can't even call this Raiden Shogun at this point. You came up with your own original character, gave her a Raiden Shogun hair, and called it Raiden Shogun. Moving up next, we have a Gunner figure of Yae Miko from Genshin Impact by Genius B Studio, a brand that I kept raving over and over in the recent weeks. Yep, their stuff are good. 1x7 scale is going for $194, 1x4 scale $299. That is very cheap for 1x4. Releasing in June next year. So she is tied to a cross, that's about it. And you can cast it off if you want, parts included. Next one here, Sindan Studio Colombinia from Genshin Impact. 1x6 scale is $225. 1x4 is only $282. I don't care if you don't have space, 1x4 is better value this time around. And oh, okay. Wait, are there two different figures over here? Like this is a completely different outfit, different face. But I would take this given the choice. Oh, okay. It is the same figure. Because different angle, I couldn't tell that she's wearing the same outfit. Two different head sculpt. $282. Worth it. But yeah, Colombinia, this character, I would display her with this blindfold or whatever it is. Next up, we have Raiden Mei from from Honkai Impact. My brain is on like Auto Cruise mode. I just wanted to say Genshin because she looked like Raiden Shogun here. This is coming from Binary Studio. The price is not yet confirmed, but this won't be $369. Binary Studio, the figures are not that pricey. It's more like $199 to $249 range, right? And the figures are not very detailed. So this is up to you. Releasing in September. This September. Normally, I wouldn't recommend figures by this brand because I feel like they should be cheaper. Nothing quite wrong with it, but for the detail and the craftsmanship level you're getting, could be cheaper. Next up, we have Firefly from Honkai Star Rail in casual outfit by Lee Studio, $226 at 1x6, releasing in December. Okay, that is a very good Firefly face. Simple figure with a street lamp. I hope there is LED inside, but this is very nice. Yeah. I'm quite a fan of casual or simple versions of figures. They won't be my first choice, but if I'm buying a second or a third figure of the same character, I love this kind of casual outfits. Next up, we have my favorite third party this week. Silver Wolf from Honkai Star Rail from Polar Bear Studio and Cod Studio. This is going to be good. Polar Bear Studio and Cod Studio, both they do decent figures. $399 at 1x4 is such a bargain. No release date yet, right? You get this whole thing for $400. I love these. Are there nicer Silver Wolf figures? Yes, there are, but I love this so much because this kind of science fiction, techie stuff with all the details are my kind of thing. Same reason why I loved Yvonne by Mietos, the Arknights figure, right? I love this kind of details in figures. Face is not the best Silver Wolf face I've seen, but still looks like her. So I'm just nitpicking over here. Moving on to the next one here, we have Sorasaki Hina from Blue Archive by FK Studio, $199 at 1x6, releasing this December. Very nice. In fact, I feel like I'm looking at an Amakuni figure. This looks very polished. It looks almost like a genuine figure, but yeah. This is going to be a hot seller if the price is like $199. Yeah. There's virtually nothing I can fault this figure for. It is perfect. As long the figure turns out exactly as promised, of course. Next up, Ready Player One Studio Hiyuki from Wuthering Waves. $469 at 1x6, releasing in December. Okay, this one I cannot recommend it at all. The face looks funny to me, right? In the recent month or so, we had so many Hiyuki figures by so many brands. Check out all of your options because all of these Hiyuki figures just pre-order opened within the past month or two, which means most of them are still pre-order open. So there are other better options out there when it comes to the face department. This one, I don't like it at all. Looks a bit funny to me. Next up, we have Halo Studio Boo Boo from Snowbreak Containment Zone. $244 at 1x6, releasing in December. Okay. I'm not sure yet if I want to get into Snowbreak Containment Zone figures. I'm not sure yet. There are genuine figures of characters from this game coming out, notably Katia Klein by Good Smile, Arts Shanghai, I think, the swimsuit one. If the price is low enough, I'll consider it, but I'm not touching Snowbreak for now. Yeah. Halo Studio is another brand which makes very good third-party figures. So the brand is not a problem over here. Next one here, we have Azalane Raffaello from Huaker Studio. $199, releasing in July 2027. Okay, just another hot Azalane figure. This is also a character where we don't have any genuine figures yet. We'll see this one first, right? Huaker Studio, I know nothing about them though. Next up, we have Taiho from Azalane by FWS Studio. $330 with cast off, right? Get the cast off one. Releasing in March 2027. And FWS Studio is another third-party brand which I can highly recommend. They make great figures. I know there is an outer version of a very similar figure over here. Same bikini, same outfit, like same version. But the selling point of this one by FWS Studio is the cast off. Full Hadaka. So at least you have a reason to get the third party over here, right? And the face looks good. Next up, we have Zenda's Zone Zero Ramil Dunn. Okay. From Staron Grave Studio. $263 at 1x6, releasing in March 2027. So I don't know very well about this character, but to me it feels like her face looks really weird from this angle, but it is probably a matter of viewing angle because, you know, her hair is not it is like one-sided or not symmetrical in a way. So like, you know, I mean, to get the rough idea, when the hair is weird in shape on one side and then you turn the head around, the face starts looking weird as well. So I think this is mostly an illusion where the hair over here is sloping down less compared to this side. So it looks funny because of her hairstyle, but from this angle, it actually looks quite good. Yeah, from this angle, it looks quite good. Grave Studio. I've heard of this name, but I don't know much about them. And the last figure for today is also from Zenless Zone Zero, Hoshimi Miyabi by Ling Yue Studio. $332 at 1/6 or 3. Okay, cast off a bow. This is like the saving grace of this figure. Face looks good. Figure is a bit too plain and simple. And $332 for 1/6. At least it is castable. Otherwise, why would I even bother? Because the Apex Toys one is incredible, right? So that would be all for figures on pre-order this week. Which one would you pre-order early? Which one would you get it after release? Let me know down in the comments below. And what are your thoughts on the resurgence or the renaissance of real anime figures? Which means, yeah, figures of anime characters or manga characters. Let me know down in the comments below. And until then, thanks a lot for watching. Do not forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you soon in a few days. Goodbye.